Hey, what's going on? Facebook, YouTube, come on in. How are you guys doing? Happy
What's going
Wednesday. What's up,
on?
y'all?
Yes, it's
Hi, everybody.
Wednesday.
What's
Praise the
going
Lord.
on?
Hump day.
Y'all
My
forgive us.
God.
There's something on us tonight, so I don't know how this is gonna go, but
Yeah, I don't know either.
but it's gonna
Not
be
messing with you.
good.
We don't know. It's always
It's
a
gonna be
setup.
good. It's gonna
It's
be
gonna be
good.
Yeah,
good.
it's gonna be
Woo!
good. It's
Y'all, it's
always good. It's gonna be
Wednesday.
good.
It's Wednesday, and I
Hey
feel like it should be
Vincent,
perfect.
how you doing?
What's up,
Hey,
Vince?
people, how y'all doing?
Doing good, man.
It's
I'm good. So
Wednesday.
listen, I do need to admit I am a little tired today. It's been an extremely long day, again, it's always good to kind of come on here, connect, and say hi to the people, and kind of just share, right, and see
Yeah,
what kind of happens live. So I'm excited,
Yes.
yeah.
nonetheless. So let's do it. Let's
It's
do it.
gonna
I'm
be
ready.
good.
Hallelujah.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be good. Well, guys, for those of you that don't know, at Kingdom Investors, we've been having an amazing time with published author Vincent Kelly. Um, the writing studio is back, and so we're super excited, man, about what God is doing to all those entrepreneurs and those writers out there. So this has been an amazing course. It's been a phenomenal time again. So we're so excited that the course is back. So tonight we want to talk a little bit more about the course, what happened last week, what's going on this week. So we brought Vincent back, man. So thanks so much for being on here with us.
Yeah,
We are
man.
Yay.
honored.
No,
Thank
it's
you,
my pleasure.
Vincent.
Thank you
We are
guys for
so
having me back.
honored. Yeah. So what happened last week, Vincent? Kind of tell the people a little bit about what we talked about last week. Let's see.
Yeah, man. So I mean, we're in the middle of the class, so we're kind of middle of the way. So last week was week number two. Week one, we dealt with just the concept and really just kind of writing it out. Week two, we got into the actual road to publishing. And so a lot of heavy content. We got into just the different phases of publishing and just the writing process. We got into just kind of dealing with, do I want to self-publish my book or do I want to go through a traditional publisher? Because that's a really big deal, right? And it's something that if you're thinking about writing, you kind of need to know what route you want to take, right? So even in terms of cost, in terms of sometimes control of the process, in terms of just freedom, there are limitations depending upon what route you go to, which route you decide to go with. So you want to be just mindful about all the ins and outs of either. We got into talking about just the submission or review process. So if you go the traditional publisher route, a lots of the publishers, whether you are a big publisher or a small publisher, they have things that their companies stand for, and so there might be a review process. We have to submit your manuscript to a board. They give you a yay or nay, and that determines whether they publish your book or not. We got into talking about the editing process and just making sure that, like, no kidding, in order to make your stuff error proof, it is imperative just to make sure that you actually have a professional editor or that you employ some type of software so that you can make sure that you produce something that's quality. We got into revisions and approvals and how, even as a part of the editing process, especially if you're assigned an editor, they're going to pick your baby apart, right? And so, which can be a little personal, and so you gotta be ready for it. You got to be open to it. And sometimes it is the buffeting, it's the buffering, it is somebody just telling you that, hey, I think that there may be some opportunity here. I didn't think that this chapter flows. I don't know that this chapter fits in the book at all. So right, so you got those different things that may happen, and you got to be ready for it. You got to be ready for it. You got to be open to it, because many times that it is those different things, those things that help to push us to that next place that we need to go with the work. Like I said in the class, last week, sometimes God brings people into our lives or brings people into our path to help to perfect us or to help us to get to that next place. And so somebody telling you, hey, there's opportunity here is not a bad thing. It's actually a really good thing. And you just want to take a moment to consider it. So we talked about that.
Yeah.
That was a lot of good discussion. We talked about illustrations and typesetting and the cover design. We got into like the digital formats and obtaining your ISBN and digital distribution. So we got into a whole lot last week. And mind you, we could have spent a whole lot more time talking about the things that we did, right? Because they're just, I mean, there's so much
Yes.
conversation. But again, it was a really good class. There were a lot of questions, which I love that. So lots of dialogue. So it was good, really, really good. So yeah, that was last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. I had a good time, kind of just being in the class and being able to kind of hear the questions that the students had. Very, very awesome. Diana, I
Yeah,
know she has some questions and that her wheels are turning and that creative side in her is turning. So Diana, what did you
Oh,
get out of
yeah.
last week's class?
Whew, my God, the spirit was moving last week. The spirit is always moving on our classes, our connections that we have with each other, even outside of this class. But I mean, my God, I got a lot. Like, you just don't understand how much this is helping me, even taking it the second time around, because it's always something that I forgot to ask before that just,
yeah,
I'm just learning more. You just a wealth of knowledge. But just learning a lot, like even learning about the affiliate program and how you can go either way. If you're a self-publisher or go to a traditional publisher, you can still be a part of the affiliate program. Learning like what your royalties, what your percentages would be. Like it was just so great. And I actually talked about how I had been writing since the first class, and how writing has been helping me. It's been helping me heal. It's been helping me get delivered in some areas. It's just a lot of stuff that I, didn't realize that I had held on to for so long over the years. And I have been so emotional, y'all. Like God has really
yeah,
been moving and working in me and through me. And I'll be like, God, why I keep crying? But it helps me feel better. Like I cry through it, then I get through it, and I'll be like, man, did I really write that much? Like I got stuff everywhere. We talked about even having stuff organized, like getting back to it and editing and putting stuff in order,
yeah,
because I got stuff written on a computer. I got stuff written in several notebooks. And I was telling you all last week, I had a whole 5 subject notebook right here. Like, and it'd be
yeah,
pages full of stuff. And I'm like,
yeah.
somebody got to get together and put this in a book. So I don't know who's going to do
That's
that.
right.
But
That's right.
but it's a lot, and it's some deep intimate stuff in there. We talked
Yeah,
about even Samaya's on here. We talked about our baby and what we're birthing out, and being able to trust other people with that, like somebody like an editor, like they're taking your baby, you have to be able to trust them with that they're going to be able to portray the person or the story, whatever it is that you're trying to be portray, and not drop your baby and not hurt you or harm you in any way. And it's like, man, this is my life. Like, this is my baby. Like, do I really want to give this over to you to do with it whatever you choose? Like that, like we talked about that. We talked about even the fear of writing, how letting other people in on our secrets, letting other people in on our life, things that we have held on to for years. If somebody that's writing a story about their life, a testimony or whatever, like being concerned what other people is going to say, how they're going to view you, their perspective,
yeah,
what are they going to do? Like they're going to hurt you, they're going to take this and abuse you. Like that's and I think that kind of keeps a lot of people hindered from actually moving out and stepping out and sort of doing the things that God has called them to do. Because we all got books locked up on the inside of you. Our whole lives is testimony. And there's always something that everybody know what to do. They're the expert in something. And you are an expert in being able to help teach somebody else how to do something that you know how to do. You know how to get around the easier ways of doing it. Like they don't have to do what you've done. They don't have to go the same route. You had to go years of learning, years of training, years of experiences, years of failures, where your book can help somebody overcome and skip past those things. So it's and I think, the more you just keep just jump and leap, take the leap of faith, just do it, and God is calling you, is pushing you and moving you to do that. Just go out there and do it. Like you don't really have to second guess it. Just move with the wind, because sometimes when you don't move with the wind, by the time you get ready to move, he done left and went someplace else and you light years behind. So we talked about a lot. Yeah, it was great. It was wonderful.
That's good. That's some good stuff, guys. And even as we're talking, there's a clarion call for those creatives. They're looking to connect with somebody that can help them put their thoughts and their stories, like Diana was talking about, on paper, right? Beginning to run with that and to run with the vision, all of those things. So I believe, guys, that we're in the season for those of us that have been maybe in the cave, or a lot of our testimonies, our stories have been locked up on the inside of us. But now is a season for us to begin to write, because you never know. I always say this, but you never know whose breakthrough might be waiting for us to be obedient, for us writing that book or writing that testimony, whatever it might be. So we want to connect with those of you that are looking for that jump start, or even that catalyst to help take you to the next level, right? So Vincent,
Yeah.
we have another course coming, another class this weekend, man. What are
Yeah.
you going to be talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited about this week. We're going into week 3. And so this week we're going to get into it's. I'm calling it spreading the word, selling and more. And so at this part of the process, your book is already published. It's ready to go to market. It's already been printed. You've approved the print design with the printer, and you're ready to start selling on Amazon, on Barnes and Noble, on the different outlets. So now we want to start really preparing for your actual launch, right? And so it's great that you have a book out, right? You finished the book, but it doesn't do you any good if you don't know how to tell people about it, right? Because now you have to begin building a presence for yourself within a market that does not necessarily know you, right? And so then the other opportunity is that you want to be able to expand beyond your immediate network. So you want to be able to expand beyond your friends, your family, but you want to be able to tap into other demographics and to the networks of other people, right? And the only way that you do that, the only way you can do that, is if you plan, is if you have a strategy and you begin to put actions in place so that you can do that. So we're going to talk about preparing for the launch. We're going to get into your press release and publicity, and what does that look like? How do I go about doing a press release? Do I have to write my own? Is there someone that can write it for me? And so we're going to get into those different resources that one might be able to tap into to really kind of lift some of the load for you. We're going to get into social media. COVID has probably more than any other time driven people to social media. Um, and so we're going to make use of social media. We're going to talk about how do we do that? Is it ad campaigns? Are there different ways of marketing on social media to get people to draw to your book? How do we do that? We're going to talk about appearances and events, whether those be in person or whether they be virtual, right? So we found again with COVID has opened the door for us to figure out how do we do things just a little bit different, so that it creates and yet still create an effective place for us in the marketplace. We're going to talk about book reviews and then also book awards, press kits and media kits and promotional items, and then also your website. Do I need a website? Do I not? Can I just use a web page? And then ultimately, I want to get into building your system. And so, how do you make this about more than just selling books? Right. And so selling books is great. And so if that's your goal, cool, go after it with all you got. But if you want, there's so many other things that you can tap into. So you can do, accompanying worksheets that might complement your book, right? There might be speaking engagements. There's so many other things that you can potentially do, depending upon the type of book that you're writing and what your end goal is, right? And so we want to get into all of that this week. So it's going to be a heavy, jam-packed course, but I'm looking to just share some knowledge, a lot of knowledge with the students. I had an opportunity to sit down with the best-selling guru. He's made so many people best-selling authors. And so the way he was able to do that, he shared with me his system. And so I want to be able to share that with the students, right? So it was a lot of great knowledge. I got an
Wow.
hour. I got an entire hour of this man's time. I paid for the hour, right? And so you can
Come
imagine
Come
on.
on.
all of the questions that I asked this man, and I wrote them down. And so I'm going to take those and I'm going to give them to the class. Because I want to be able to help somebody.
Come on. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's gonna
God.
be
I'm so
good.
Yeah,
excited.
If you're not in
yeah,
the
Oh my God.
course,
I feel like
yeah,
you,
I'm
Samaya.
yeah,
geeked.
I feel like you, Samaya. We can't be late. We
I'm
gotta
geeked.
show up on
yeah,
time. Well, I'm gonna be there
If you
anyway.
guys
yeah,
are not in the class, you gotta get in this class. It's gonna be
That
good.
is
yeah.
awesome.
You
Awesome,
want to
man.
be
That's
in the
powerful.
class. There's so much. There's so much.
Yeah.
And what we did was last time we ended up extending the class out another week. And so the plan is to do that again. There's 3 weeks of just full content, but then we're going to add a fourth week. So and it's just going to be a working session. And so when you come
Mhm.
back for that fourth week, bring your questions. Bring your questions about your own manuscript, about your journey, and then what we're going to do is just kind of talk through those one-on-one to help people move forward. Um, so yeah,
Yes.
I'm excited. Again, this is something I'm passionate about. I'm actually in the process of releasing my second book, and I've actually written already two other books that I'm looking to release early next year.
What?
And so the idea that things continue to flow once you actually do it once, and once you just avail yourself to, God, what do you want me to do? How you want me to do it? Cool, got it. I put it right into action. And then God says, well, cool. Since you did that, here's something else right on the heels of the thing that you're not even. You haven't even seen the fullness of it yet. But God said, I
My
got some.
God, today.
And so yeah,
Wow. That is awesome. I didn't even know you had two more books you was in the process of writing and releasing next year. I
I'm
knew
so
about the
excited about.
one.
I'm so excited. I'm
I
so excited.
mean, you are definitely a real
Um,
author.
Let me tell you something. And so it is so interesting because Diana, I don't know that I don't know if you would have told me in 2018, when I was kind of started this journey, that I would kind of be in this place, but that's just how
Right.
God works, and how you continue to walk forward. And the Bible is true where he says the steps of the righteous are ordered, right? And so as
Come
you continue
on.
to step, God continues to order your steps. And then you
Mm,
walk slam into opportunity. You walk slam into divine appointment. You walk slam
I
into people,
mean,
and you walk slam into tables that you're supposed to sit at with great men. But that's
whew,
only by walking in order steps. And I
my
believe that's what
God.
the Lord wants to do for us.
Yes, Lord. I mean, my God, today. Who would have thought you couldn't tell me in 2019 that I would be sitting right here today interviewing you like with Kingdom Investors Academy?
That,
Who
that's
knew?
amazing. That is amazing. That is
Like
amazing.
my God, today. My
That is
God. And this is still just the beginning. I mean, I'm just so
yeah,
excited, y'all. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what God is doing in this season and the next. Like, He is just really blowing our minds.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
and we're in a season of acceleration. So God is accelerating a lot of things for those that can hear what He's saying and be obedient. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
we got to catch the wave. We got to run with it because He is in full force and He is moving quickly. He really
That is
Yeah.
so
is.
good, Russell. That is, man, that's so good. Because you know what? Many times we think it's the hard thing, or it's the difficult thing that we have to obey. And many times God is trying to get us to just do the simple thing, right? Do the
Mm,
simple thing. Do the simple thing. And then as you do the simple things, and there, God says, I can trust you with more. Right. And so
right.
I'll give you one talent. I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you three. Right. I need you to be faithful with what I've told you to do, and with what I've given you.
Come
And then
on.
as you do that, God says, okay, so let me open it up to you, because there's so much more.
My
Because you
God.
did the small thing, it opens you up to so much more. And
My
so that's what
God.
we want to get at, and we want to
And
do that.
yeah, for all of those that are still scared, I just want to remind you all that delayed obedience is still disobedience. I know firsthand, and I don't want to keep disobeying. So I gotta move when he say move. You ain't even gotta worry about what it's gonna look like on the end. Just go. Just know that he got you. It's gonna be
Mhm.
greater than you can anything you can ask, think, or imagine. Like just move when he say move. Jump when he say jump. Like and let him figure out the rest. Cause
Yeah.
I mean, It pays to be obedient, as you can see. My God,
It does.
this is good.
And Diana, that's a very good point. So Vincent, how would you speak to those people that might be afraid to write? They know they're supposed to have a book, but they might not be the best writers. They might be afraid to write. What advice can you give them?
Man, there are so many, so first thing I would say um, is that if you feel like you've got a book or you feel like you've got something, right? Even if you don't know if it's a book, you don't know if it's an article, you don't know if it's a journal. At times you got to put your pen to paper, right? And you just got to start writing. You got to start writing and as you write, as you're obedient, as you are open, right, to whatever this is. You just need to get it out of your head and onto paper. Because and many times what holds us back is us, right? And the idea is, we're afraid to kind of jump out there and do something. But it doesn't take any type of um, big action to kind of just write down your thoughts on paper. We have journals, we have diaries. We write down our thoughts anyways, but just sit down and take it one step at a time. I don't care if it needs to be a paragraph. Just sit down and start writing. And as you write, and as you begin to kind of pray, okay, God, so what do I do with what you've actually given me? Right? What do I do with this? God will always lead us. He'll always lead us. But we've got to be open to it, and we've got to
Yeah.
ask him to help us be open to what he wants us to do. And you'll find that like the light bulb will come on and the Lord will begin to inspire you. Um, he'll wake you up out of your sleep, right? Or you'll be at work, right? And somebody
I
will
mean,
say something and it will trigger a thought, or you'll be just talking to your children and something that they say, right? It will trigger a thought, or it will inspire you to do something, right? And typically that thing will be to write it down. And you'll be like, oh man, I need to write that down. Like I don't want to miss it. And then the thing about it is that you've got to be again, it's being open and it's also being alert. Also, so God, when you want me to write something down, help me to be alert, right? Because it's obviously important. Help me not to miss it and help me not to delay. I'll remember it later. I'll remember to write it down later. No, you won't, right? And even if you do remember to write it down later, it won't be completely the way that you actually heard it the first time. One of the ways, and feel like I'm talking a lot, but one of the ways that I do that is, again, I keep a little black book, right? And so just at any given point, doesn't matter where I am, I got this little black book, and so it's filled with sayings, it's filled with things that I hear, it's filled with conversations or just moments of inspiration that I want to capture, and so it's important to just not belittle those moments, right? Because sometimes they only come once.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's really good. Well, I typically flow. So I'm starting to hear something. So for those of you that might listen to this replay or watching it right now, there is coming a revolution to comic strips and comic books. And I see something going to happen for those of you that can catch this, those that are creative in the area of comic books that might relate to business, but incorporating humor and laughter. It's going to be very lucrative. And I wish I was the person that could do that, but I'm not. But I just released that because it's going to be something in the area of comic books and comic strips that are going to be very, very lucrative. So if that's you, or if you might be very creative in that area or can kind of think and put humor and all that together, as it relates to business, it's going to be very, very lucrative. I could see that. So for whoever that was for, go ahead and do it. So, but anyway, I could see that it's going to be
my
really
God, y'all better
powerful.
Go
catch
ahead.
that.
It's going to be really powerful. Well, what else do we
Listen.
have got? What else do we have going
Yes.
on? Vincent, you talked about your second book, right? What's Can you tell us the
Yep.
preview of what it's going to be about?
I can. Yeah, man. So I'm excited. I'll give you the name. So we're looking to release it by the middle of next month. And so there's one thing about me. So I haven't shared this, but in my professional life, I'm an HR person, so I've been doing HR for probably about 15 years. It's the only thing I've ever done professionally. And so I serve on the regional HR team for a global company. And so diversity is something that I love. I love people. I love cultures. I love differences. And so my second book, again, it's another children's book. It's called All People Are Beautiful. And so what the book does is it celebrates diversity, it celebrates difference, it celebrates cultures. And so the book is going to be available in 7 different languages. And so it is something I'm so excited to release. Again, you're going to see, people in the book that have every shade, right, of skin tone, which is, again, it's something that's important. You're going to see people in there from the Netherlands. You're going to see people in there from the Philippines. You're going to see people in there, and you're going to have these different languages in there. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. But it is to celebrate the beauty of our differences, because I believe that our differences are really the thing that actually unite us. And so I want to be able to do that, especially in light of this, just the times that we live in right now. When you think about race relations, when you think about just all the things that are happening in the world, I think it's a very, very timely message, not just for kids, which is the target audience, but even for adults as well. So, man, I'm so excited to release it. It's a beautiful book. The illustrations are they're coming along, and they are colorful, they're vibrant, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So I'm excited. I'm
That
excited.
that sounds awesome. So when will this be released?
So I'm targeting to release it at the Authors and Illustrators Virtual Book Festival. So next month on the 13th and 14th. So
Wow.
that
Awesome.
I'm targeting that to be the launch. Um, so yeah, there's a whole lot going into it. There's a lot before we get to the finish line, but we're kind of pacing ourselves, and I think we're going to do it. And it's going to be
Yeah,
amazing.
man.
That is so awesome.
Congratulations,
It's
man.
going to be amazing.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
We're so excited. We're
Yeah,
Thank
it's gonna
so
you.
be
excited.
phenomenal. It's gonna be phenomenal.
I'm
Well, hey
excited
Vincent,
too.
while you said that, we do have some people that are watching and they're gonna watch that might want to be a part of your festival. Can you talk just a little bit about it real quick?
He is set up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
know,
Sure.
Vincent. We here. I get it. We are here.
So listen, yeah,
Y'all
yeah,
don't mind
yeah.
us.
So listen, yes, Russell is a setup. But listen, guys. So it again, it's called the
My
Authors
God.
and Illustrators Virtual Book Festival. Again, it's an idea that I had maybe about 2 months ago, and maybe a little bit longer. But I wanted to be able to bring authors and illustrators together. A lot of the festivals, which are physical in nature, have all been canceled due to COVID. And so, with that in mind, I wanted to create just a coming together for authors and illustrators, provide resources and support and exposure, and then also create an opportunity for people to buy their books, right? Again, I'm inviting parents, educators, authors, illustrators, book industry pros, and anyone that's a book lover. This is going to be an amazing event. You'll get a chance to interface and engage live with these authors, and it's
Mm,
completely virtual. So there'll be different booths that are set up where you can go into their booths and you can engage with them live. There'll be sessions going on that will cater and gear specifically towards authors and illustrators. So things around marketing, things around book awards, and how do I go about doing that? Are there certain book awards that will cater to my genre of books? So figuring out how do we do that. There are resources out there for that. And so we want to be able to put all of that under one roof for authors and illustrators. And so, yeah, November 13th and 14th, we're inviting people all over the world. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So if you don't have anything to do, we welcome you to come and be a part.
That is
that's
awesome.
powerful,
So is
man.
this something that's gonna be like annually or quarterly, or is this just, the first year or what?
Yep. So the idea, like I said, like this, it was just an idea that popped into my head. I was like, I need to figure out how to do this. We figured out how to do it. Um, And so in my mind, I want to do this first one, see how that goes, and then I would like it to be something that is annual. Being that COVID is what it is. I think there's an opportunity to also just tap into that virtual demographic, not just in this season, but potentially in seasons to come, where
Yeah,
people
that'd
can't
be
always
awesome.
travel. Now you don't have to travel. Your travel is as quick as you can log in to your computer or log into your phone and join the event. So it's gonna be so dope. It's gonna be dope.
That's awesome.
Wow.
It's gonna
Good
be dope.
stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Whew,
Yeah.
y'all.
I'm
Okay, I
looking
gotta
at
take a
that
deep
smirk
breath.
on your face. Don't you try it.
I ain't gonna do it.
Y'all,
I ain't gonna
for
do it.
those who are, still wanting to sign up for this course, go to kingdominvestorsacademy.com and click register for a course and find the Writers Pro Studio. I think that's the name of it. I always forget it. I always get it messed up. But the course is $124.99. You get a free copy of Vincent's first book that he won a award for, a signed autographed copy of his book. Praise God. You all will still be able to get all the lessons that we already learned, the videos, the live videos with all his notes and everything. And he gives some great resources, you all. You really want to get this information. You need this information. And he's just a wealth of knowledge. So you all just go to kingdominvestorsacademy.com, share this live, share this information with those that have something that's locked up on the inside of them. Let us help them unlock that and cultivate those things that God has given them and take
Yes.
them to the next level, y'all. And again, it's $124.99, and you still can make payments. Our next class starts this Saturday. This will be week number 3, and we hope to see you all there. Yes. You got
Already.
anything? Yes.
Hey, that's all from me. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being a part
Praise the Lord.
of
Hallelujah.
watching.
Hallelujah.
All right, you guys have a great night.
Be great, everybody.
Yes.
All right, see you guys later.
Bye.
All
Love
right,
you all.
bye.
Bye. See y'all. Love you. Bye.